Kimmel is set to return to late-night television in just over 6 hours from now. It comes after a week-long suspension following controversial comments by Kimmel in the wake of political activist Charlie Kirk's death.
While Kimmel's right to speak on his own show has been restored, two groups of ABC affiliates are not carrying his show this evening. According to the Associated Press, Nexstar Media Group said it would continue to preempt the show, pending assurances that all parties are committed to fostering an environment of respect, constructive dialogue in the markets they serve. Sinclair Broadcast Group also keeping Jimmy Kimmel Live off of its stations. Those two corporations collectively controlling about a quarter of all ABC affiliates across the U.S.
All of this coming after ABC suspended Kimmel indefinitely after comments he made in a monologue last week suggesting that many Trump supporters were trying to capitalize on the death of Charlie Kirk. Following Nexstar and Sinclair's decisions to continue to preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren releasing a statement reading in part, Nexstar, the largest TV broadcaster, needs Donald Trump's approval for a $6 billion deal. If approved, Nexstar would control TV stations reaching 80% of households, violating the cap set by Congress to protect against monopolies. Sinclair, the nation's second largest broadcaster, is similarly waiting on Donald Trump's approval for a broadcast deal and is planning even larger upcoming deals. The censorship of Kimmel reeks of corruption. Again, it's important to note Western Mass News is owned by Gray Media, and we will have Jimmy Kimmel airing tonight on ABC 40 after Western Mass News at 11.